Good evening. Hi, Don Maxwell here from Live IT Academy. We're continuing our series with Excel, and today's topic is going to be on customizing chart objects. Well, you know how important it is to show your work appearance visually to your clients or to your customers. And so creating a chart is a wonderful way to do that. All right, so today we're looking at the regional sales file, and we're going to be enhancing or customizing chart objects. So what are the chart objects? All right, okay, chart objects are different elements within the chart, and we're going to be trying to pinpoint them and making customization and making them enhanced so that the chart will come alive and look professional and presentable to your clients. Okay, let's go ahead and click on the chart. And we note that the chart tool appears as a contextual tab, and also the design and format. So we have available to us design and format within the ribbon. So design will help us to do the chart styles, colors, changing the rows, and even changing the chart type or moving it to another location. Also, format allows us to format the shapes or letters. We can even reset if you made changes and you don't like the changes, you can reset to match the original style. Okay? All right, so today we're going to be looking at our chart, and you'll see that there's been a great enhancement in the latest version of Excel. For example, when you click on your chart, you will see there are 3 tools here on the side, right? So I'm going to take my chart and I'm going to move it right below my data. All right, so I can have room so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, next I can point out these different tools here right next to the chart. Sort of what we had when we had the chart layout, but these tools are more enhanced and they're right there on the chart. Chart elements, for example, and then you have the chart styles, and then you have the chart filters. All right, and these are going to be able to, when you click on them, going to be able to show you different chart objects. For example, in our chart, if we had or wanted to have all the access titles, we can click on that and we can choose. We want the primary horizontal, vertical, depth. In this case, we will have, because we have a z-axis. There's, if you'll notice, there's data labels on the x-axis, but on the z-axis, we also have data labels. So we can look at, we can change the data around. So we can look at it from month to region instead of regions to month. Okay, but the chart elements, let's start with the chart elements. You have the ability to look at the different elements, primary horizontal and primary vertical and depth, right? So all 3 are selected. If I should take all 3 off, you'll see that they're all removed from the chart, right? So because this is a 3D chart, I have the depth, right? So generally, if it's a 2D chart, you'll have horizontal and vertical primary. And then because I have a 3D chart, I have depth. Now the more button is going to give me a template to give me more options to configure the axis, but that's okay for now. I will get into it when we look at the templates. Okay, so next thing we can add to our chart, next object is the title. All right, and you'll see that the title, the placeholders, right? You see that these are called the placeholders. The axis title appears 3 places. Here's the deal. If I click on one of these placeholders, I simply have to type in the formula bar the text. For example, on the vertical side, this is my sales amount. So I'm going to go ahead and type sales amount. Now, the thing with the sales amount is, as I type it in my formula bar, you don't notice anything. It's not really on the chart yet, right? But that's okay. I type in the formula bar. When I press my enter key on my keyboard, it will appear in the placeholder. Okay? So it's okay to type it in the formula bar, and you don't have to type it in the placeholder. All right, and on this side is my region side. So I click on the placeholder, and in my formula bar, I'm just going to write the word region. All right, and fix any errors, press the enter button, and it appears right there. And for the actually, we should have reversed the chart around. So let me do that now. Switch chart column. So reverse it around so that. All right. So all I did was to enhance it. I simply switched the rows and columns. So my regions are on this side and my months are on this side. That was the original. Okay. So similar here on the month side. I'm going to type months. It's be first quarter. All right. Or you can need month. You could put. I would put month, quarter one, whatever. All right. All right. So I can see that there are 3 months, the first quarter. Okay. All right. So again, I'm on my chart element, and what else can I put in there? What about the title? All right. So I could put a placeholder for the title, but here's the thing: I can enhance that and put it to the center overlay. Right. Center overlay. So it will just appear on my chart, even in the plot area, right? So I could put it above the chart if I want to, or I can put it overlay in the plot area. Notice how the chart expands. If I do the overlay, you can see the difference. The chart actually expands, and I can put it on the chart anywhere. So that's if I want to do the overlay and overlay in the plot area, or I could put it outside the plot area on the chart, okay? All right, so here, similar with all placeholders, I simply type my title in the formula bar. So this is actually the regional sales, and I could put this is the first quarter. Right? So I could do something like that. And I press the enter button, similar to what I did with the other placeholders, right? So you can see how I treat the placeholder. So on the chart elements, I can pick different elements. By the way, the data label, if I want data label to appear on my chart, that's just like for the data, the actual numbers, right, from the data will appear right on the chart on the series or on the data points. They'll appear. If I want to put a data table in, no, data tables are really good, especially if you have the data coming from another worksheet somewhere. To put the data table here is a good thing, right? Grid lines. We're going to talk more about grid lines. They are in the back here, and they're the ones who gives us the scale or the measurement as to what the values are, right? Actually, we see the data point using these you see these data points right here. So we can actually gauge the scale, right, from 20,000 to 60,000. Right, so we can safely say everything is under 40,000, right? Because that's my 40,000 one. All right, and then I have my legend at the bottom. If I remove that, you see the legend's gone. I can put the legend back, right? And I can choose where I want it at the top, at the left, bottom, and so on, right? Excuse me. Okay. All right, so these are my chart elements here, and you see how I can enhance my chart simply by using elements. It's simply clicking on the check box, and whether it's filling out the title or placing the legend where I want to, or adding additional labels to my chart. Okay. All right. So the next enhancement tool is the style tool. So I can pick from the gallery here, just like I did up here, of the various types of chart, right? And again, from this gallery, I can then use the live preview to actually see what it should look like before I choose it, right? So I can go down and just select it and look at it before I choose what to pick, right? And I do have a color enhancer, color scheme, different types of color scheme that you can pick from your chart, right? This is a pretty colorful one, so I'm going to pick that one. All right, so that I could pick a style just like the style library, right? This is very similar. It's the exact same thing, a matter of fact, right? From the style gallery to here, but this is specific to the data that I picked. Then next, I can enhance it using filters, right? So let's say I didn't want to show South region. I didn't want to show the South region here. I could just remove the check mark here. And the South region, if I apply it, South region is gone. So I must apply it first, right? See, the South region was in yellow. I apply, right? I could put it back, apply, right? So I must click on what I want to filter, the values, and then click apply, and that will filter the data, all right? And we're talking about the data series, the values, all right? So that has to do with the months and the region and the totals here, right? So that's why you have the months, regions, right? So different categories and series, right? And also you can see the names. If I don't want names, or if I don't want the names to appear again, I must click the apply, right? So I actually know it defaults to series instead of the actual names, right? So let's go back, click on and apply the names. Where did it get the names from? The labels in your data that you selected. Okay? All right, so the other things that I can do with my chart is that I can format. There are many features, more formatted features that don't appear in the ribbon, right? How do I get them? Well, I can go to, let's say I went to the grid line and I right click, right? And I as I see, I could format the walls. Let's click on that. Format the walls, right? And here I have all the walls options, right? And I have all the different options within the chart, whether it's the back wall, right? If I want to fill it with a color, let's put a solid color, a lighter color, right? So you can go down your list and just enhance the chart the way you want to do it. I prefer to click on my chart, use the design tools or the formatting tools right away, or I can use this template, right? For every single object in your chart, there is a template that gives me more access to formatting it. Like you saw what I did, the filter or the borders, okay? So if you don't like that, I'm going to change that so it looks a little bit more presentable here. So I can change the shape styles, right? And these tools are very much the same. Fill tool, fill line. I could put different effects on there. Shadow, glow, right? Right. I can do 3D format, right? Just to enhance the title here, right? But remember, it's true for each one. So you can see the shadow appears, right? So, I mean, this is if you want to have those things on there. Just that there is a variety of options that you can pick from. Okay, and of course, the sizing, how do I want to size it? Do I want to center, middle center it, and so on? So I can determine vertical alignment, directions that the texts are going in, and customizing any angle for my text, right? All right, so remember I'm customizing my chart. So what I do for that sign, I'm going to do for all of my placeholders here. so I can enhance them, customize them. Okay. Okay, so the other things I can do is, you see the data series, I can change those different shapes. So for example, the January, February, March East data point, right? I can click on that and I can say I want those to be the cylinder shape. So I have options. Right now it's a box shape. I can do pyramid and so on. So let's put a cylinder shape, right? And remember, I can do it for all my data points, any one of my data points that I want to, right? All I have to do is what? Select the data point, right? And again, select, how do I select my data point? One click of the mouse, click one data point, right? And I can always select multiple data points by pointing to double click on the mouse, okay? All right, so I have the options of going in and changing them to cylinder, as I said, and you can pick which ones you want. You know, generally you want all of them to be the same shape, column shape, right? So either you pick one of these column shapes, right? Whether you want it to be full cone, right? You can do that as well, right? So it's a matter of picking the data series and choosing one of the column shapes that you want, right? And then you can determine the gap between the shapes and the depth of the shape, right? So right now I have it 150% in both ends, but you can see that you can enhance it, right? Or just keep it the same. Okay. All right, so that's my data series over here. Over here in the middle, these tools are very important too, right? If I want to, you saw I did shadow glow here, so I can do that. Or I could fill the actual object with a color, or I can work with the borders. That's the border outside the object, right? All right, so other things I can do is enhance my text. I could, for format, I could right click and say format this axis, and I could change the series order, right? I don't east, west, north, so I don't want to really change that series order, but you can if you wanted to. Say I put east, west, north, south in the back, right? Say east in the front now. See what I'm doing? East, west, north, south. Just changing the order, right? So I could do that. Now there's some major tick marks in between. Again, just like a ruler, if you were dealing with your scale and you want individual tick marks, major tick marks, minor tick marks, just like on a ruler. If I want the tick marks to be on the outside, right? And again, that has to do with my grid, major grid lines, right? And again, if I have labels in between, right? How, and the distance intervals, again, if I'm talking about the numbers, right now they're dollar amounts, right? They're general category, right? I can say they're currencies, you know, with the currency sign, right? So that's how I could deal with my vertical axis here as well. All right, so, and again, you can identify each object on your chart. You know this is a plot area and so on, right? But if you have trouble just clicking on each area, like this is a chart area, inside here would be the plot area, the flooring, and so on. But if you're having trouble identifying that just by simply using the mouse, you can always use any one of these templates and click on the down arrow, right? So for example, if I wanted the plot area, right? I could select the plot area, which is here, and I could put let's put a gradient color. You know what a gradient color means? It's sort of a grading stop, different color blends, right? And then the type of shape, like radial or path or rectangular. And you can see if you pick each one, you can actually see what it's doing, right? Which is really cool, right? So I can choose a different color, and you can see the blend. See the blend in the color, right? That's called a gradient, right? And I could change the transparency of the color and so on. All right, so it's pretty cool. Gives you a lot of personality to your chart. All right. So, oh, notice I had the blend color in the back. That's the back wall. So now that I changed that, you know, maybe you want to give that a different color. Right? Because it's all about customizing your chart, right? This one we didn't do, so let's go back, and of course that's a format, and we're going to do enhancement to it. And don't forget, you can move around your titles, right? Right now these are on the plot area. If I wanted to move them off the plot area into the chart area, I can do that. All right. So quickly I can right click. I have the option of formatting my axis, which creates the template. I can select options or tools from the template, whether I'm filling with colors or putting special effects or clicking on the series, changing around. You know, we can reverse the order, we can reverse the columns, right? Because you saw that in the design mode. I can switch rows and columns, and here I can switch series, right? So this rows and columns is one thing, but then I can go in and switch the series, the actual data points, right? So I would be talking about the axis options, right? Remember I said that for every object there is a there are features that you can apply. So let's say that's the blue color, that's the back, or the whole thing. So we'll put right, and I'll put a dark color on the flooring. So let's go find the floor, and I'm going to put a dark color, like a gray color on the floor. See? All right, and then I can enhance the text as well. And if you go to format, I'm going to use the word art guys to bring those out. All right, so all I'm doing is selecting it first with my mouse, and then select the tool, right? So format, word art style, and just pick a style that you want here. All right, so the only thing that's left here is the chart area. So what color can we make the chart area? We'll make that in a solid fill color. And it's gray right now. Let's do a nice gold color here. All right. All right, so you can see that you can customize all these chart objects, right? Starting with the axis, the title, chart title, whether I want data into grid lines. I can customize. I can customize the legend, right? And then I have further formatting of each object, right, in a more detailed way, whether it's fill the border and fill the effects that actually fill the object itself, put on special effects, shadow, glow, right, on each 3D format, and size and properties, you know, enhance or change the wording and so on. So, you know, different directions of the text and so on, right? And even the chart area, let's say I wanted a beveled edge for it. Let's go put a beveled edge on the chart area. You can actually see the beveled edge up here. See that? Right? Right, as I said, and I'll repeat this, that if I'm going to use my data table, it's usually cool if I'm getting the data from another area or another worksheet instead of this worksheet. Right, so I can have my chart here, but the data is coming from another worksheet. So I would do that. Other things to know is as you format as you pick any one of these guys, you have the ability to go one step further and choose whether, like the overlay the plot area or above, right? And of course, the more button, now we can talk about that because all that's going to do is give you these options, right? So it's the same selection as picking or right clicking on the chart and going to the different element areas, all right? Or like, for example, if I go to the format plot area, it will appear format plot area here. Right, so it's just other ways of getting there. Whether you right click or you go there from this tool, and again, we have our selection that we made. If you don't like your selection that you've made, it's very simple. You can go and just say reset back to the original, right? If I don't want to reset, because it's pretty nice. I like this. All right, so guys, customizing your chart, all you have to do is identify each chart object, and that's simply by clicking on the chart and using the chart elements or using the chart style or using the filter, and along with that using the template that has additional objects formatting tools to further format the element or the object on your chart. Great job. Continue to enhance your skill sets. Practice. As I said, you can grab this file. You can redo the chart 100 times using the same files. You will get different colors, different shapes of your data points, and different. You can apply different word art styles or different colors, right? So you can always enhance or customize your chart objects to make the chart look more professional, and its appearance is going to be very impressive with your clients. Okay, great job, guys. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Good job.